Hey, what's going on, guys? It is your boy here, of course, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman, and we got to talk about Devin Haney wanting this fight against Ryan Garcia overturned on the grounds that Ryan was using a PED, or at least he allegedly was using a PED. Obviously, the verdict on that has yet to come back. He also alleges that Ryan gave himself an unfair advantage coming in 3 pounds overweight. It seems like the case that Devin Haney wants to make is that there would have been a different outcome to this fight, or he might have stood a better chance of winning this fight if Ryan hadn't done all three of those things. This is risky for Devin Haney in the fact that if he gets this right, everyone's going to be forced to say they were wrong about him. The public image of Devin Haney right now is in the shitter. It's in the toilet. Everyone saw him get outboxed, and now he's coming out after the fact, and it seems like he's trying to make excuses for why he lost. Now, there's a couple of different ways I feel like you could look at this, and I actually listened to an interview that Fight Hub TV did with Eddie Hearn, and Eddie Hearn made a good point, right? While this could be Devin Haney trying to save face and trying to get a proverbial win back in the eyes of the public, this could also be Devin Haney saying, hey, I don't think I got a fair shake here. Now, I'm the first person to say Devin Haney didn't look really good this fight. It looked like he just got outclassed, outboxed. He did not have an answer for the lead hook of Ryan Garcia, and Ryan camouflaged it masterfully. There's nothing, at least yet, that you could take away from his performance. I've said in past videos why I felt that going about it the way he went about it wasn't the most honorable, at least in my opinion, way of going about things. But he looked great in the fight, right? I'm talking about the lead up, coming in 3 pounds over and betting on himself, making everyone think that he had went insane. But the truth is that, yeah, Ryan came in 3 pounds overweight. Now, you want to talk about how much of an advantage that nets you? I'm not necessarily sure. I know that a lot of times when guys are dehydrated, that can sometimes submarine their chances of really ballooning back up to their healthy weights. So if a guy is 3 pounds over the limit, that means he's had less wear and tear on his body, and he might be a little bit fresher come fight night. If you look at it on the scales, there's not really much that a difference of 3 pounds is going to make in a boxing match. There's also the claim of the IV, which again, I have to look into further, but if he really did use an IV, then that's also kind of damning because IVs are used to rehydrate athletes. So the name of the game is not necessarily the fact that Garcia came in 3 pounds overweight, which is what everyone's kind of latching onto and focusing on. It's more so the fact that Ryan Garcia came in 3 pounds overweight. If he really did use an IV, that means he was able to rehydrate faster, put on that water weight again faster, rehydrate, and be in better shape physically once it came fight time. Now, again, I've never been in the ring. I plan on getting in there at some point, but I'm not going to claim to know what the difference in the feeling of having a grueling weight cut versus a not so grueling weight cut would be. I can imagine it would pay dividends at a certain point, even later in the fight, but you saw the way Ryan came out, very aggressive, and hurt Devin Haney early. I don't know. I think it's something that's at least worth looking into. I know I'm going to get a ton of hate in the comments from Ryan Garcia fans. I'm not saying that he's guilty, but I'm saying that maybe we should stop framing this as Devin Haney complaining and look at it as if it's a guy that, hey, wants a second shot at saying, could this have been a little bit more fair? I also like the point that Eddie Hearn brought up, which is that Ryan Garcia is making a lot of noise right now. He's talking about how there's connections in VADA that want to take him down, that as soon as he took a picture with Trump, everyone's trying to get him as a drug cheat. That's all noise. When it really comes down to it, he entered into the ring with prohibited substances in his body, and it is up to these athletic commissions to figure out whether or not that was a sufficient amount to have a performance enhancement benefit on the fight. That's really what we need to be looking at. What Ryan Garcia, and it's been what he's been doing so well even in the lead up to this fight, is he's creating a lot of, I don't want to say it's like a distraction tactic, but he's kind of creating a show, right? I'll put it like this. If Ryan Garcia was just his normal self and he didn't kind of adopt this character that we're seeing right now, would anyone really care? It would still be a big deal, but we wouldn't be, I don't think, talking about it as much until the 22nd when it finally comes time for him to get tested. Another part of this is that Bill Haney, obviously Devin Haney's father, his trainer, and I believe his manager, came out in an interview and said that they really, really regret taking that $1.5 million as compensation for Ryan missing weight by 3 pounds. I don't necessarily know if you stop a fight like this, especially with how much of a runaway train it was. I almost feel like that optic would have been worse for the Haneys than what we're seeing right now, which is just that for some reason Ryan Garcia is extremely in the public favor and Haney is kind of playing the heel role. Could you imagine if they had called off the fight? I think that would have been the worst possible thing for Devin Haney's public image. I think a lot of people have come to adore Ryan Garcia and kind of view him as this like maverick guy that says and does whatever he wants, and that's super duper cool, and he's the it guy right now. I don't know if you're going to look good anywhere here, but I think they made the right move taking the $1.5 million, because think about it, if they get this thing turned over, they're $1.5 million richer. They now have the fight overturned or turned into a no contest. To me, that seems like a win in this case. It's tough in that if this were the other way around, I feel like Ryan Garcia would be getting a lot more sympathy. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. I know the public's fickle. I know these new boxing fans are fickle. Ryan Garcia is on fire right now. I can't understate how well he's looking in the public eye, to the point where it's like, dude, this guy is in jeopardy of potentially having his fight overturned for PED use, and nobody seems to care. There's a few comments that are saying, hey, this guy might be a PED user. He might have stilted the fight in his favor. There's already money that he bet on himself. We should take a look at this. 90% of the comments who don't know the full story, who aren't fully informed, are running off of the conspiracy theories that Ryan Garcia himself has propagated. It's insane. Ryan Garcia right now, man, he is the face of boxing. So I'm curious to see how this develops, but without further ado, it's been your boy, the combat consultant, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman. And I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.